Thinking about taking a vacation or maybe even moving to the southern tier or Finger Lakes region of upstate New York? You'll need to know the lay of the land, or in this case, the lay of the lake. Seneca Lake is a long, thin, deep lake about 38 miles long, and this is the shape. They sell it on jewelry in local jewelry stores. Seneca Lake runs almost perfectly north to south. It's only off about 2 degrees from true north. There are only 2 major cities on the lake. There's Geneva, New York at the very top at the northernmost tip, and Watkins Glen at the south at the very southern tip. There are no other cities on the lake. Although the shores are full of properties, every foot has a property or a state park or a cottage or a farm or a winery or a marina. This is very valuable real estate. Hi, I'm Pam Pariso, and I'm the brand ambassador for Keller Realty, a brokerage that helps people buy and sell properties in the Southern Tier and Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Welcome to another episode of the Histories and Mystery of Seneca Lake. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe. In this video, I'm just going to talk about the 2 major cities, Geneva and Watkins Glen. Let's talk about Watkins Glen first. At the southern tip, this is a small little village with only a population normally of about 2,000 people. In fact, if you come here in the winter, when it's snowing, there's hardly anybody here. It's a sleepy little town, it's very quiet, and a lot of the local tourist attractions actually close down. But in the spring and the fall, and especially the summer months, the population swells with tourists that come from all over, not only the country, but from all over the world. It's not uncommon to see busloads of tourists. There's groups of people coming in on motorcycles. There's tourists coming in on buses to see Watkins Glen Gorge State Park. There's people coming on winery tours. There's people coming in town with pulling their campers or their boats. In fact, it becomes so busy it's actually congested and there are traffic jams. We've got your NASCAR fans, your campers, your boaters, your fishers, your tourists, and of course, most everybody's coming for the wineries. Watkins Glen has a beautiful little state park, and across the way there's a marina and a super Walmart. It's very busy in the summer, and you'll see people in there with their flip-flops and swimming suits all the time. So leaving Watkins Glen, let's say you want to travel all the way to the top of the lake, all 38 miles to go to Geneva. Along the way, there are dozens and dozens of wineries. There's new ones every year. I'm amazed how many there are. There's lots of places to stop with roadside stands, orchards, food marts, and Big Johnson's is the famous little local bar near Hector, which is kind of a landmark. It's kind of a rundown biker bar. It's a very popular destination for the motorcyclers. So now let's talk about Geneva, New York. Geneva is a much bigger city, although it's still pretty small by most standards, with a population of about 12,000. Of course, this city swells with tourists too. It has a much bigger downtown. There are many hotels that are several stories high along the top of the lake, and another state park. There are walking trails, picnic areas, restaurants, wineries, of course, and it's a college town. It's the home of Hobart and William Smith College, and Cornell has some small campuses there as well. So once you're at Geneva and you want to go back to Seneca Lake, it takes about another hour to go down the opposite side. And again, although it's completely different, you're traveling along a road where you can look down at the lake. Everything slopes down, and there's wineries above and below as you travel along, as well as beautiful farms, bike paths, and so much more. If you were to drive from Watkins Glen to Geneva, it would take you about an hour, and then from Geneva back to Watkins Glen, it would take you about another hour. But of course, it's going to take longer than that because there's so many places to stop. Now let's talk about home prices in Watkins Glen. The Watkins Glen zip code is 14891, and if you can just take a look at these properties, you'll see they range anywhere from $150,000 all the way up to $1 million. Geneva is the zip code of 14456, and as you can see, the properties there are a little less expensive, but being a college town, they vary from more rentals available, and homes again from about the $100,000 to $500,000 price range, with some much higher. One of the reasons people love to move here is mainly because of the spring, summer, and fall months. And in winter, people just cozy up by their wood stove and maybe they work from home. Tourism still is a thing in the winter, but definitely it's much quieter. Of course, a farmer's work is never done, so if you're farming on one of the orchards or one of the vineyards, there's always something to be done. Want to learn more about Seneca Lake? I'm going to dive into the mysteries and history, so be sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.